right, so welcome back to another edition, episode, mini-sode, whatever you want to call it, of Storytime with Stu here on Not Your Mother's Podcast. I am really having fun reading through these books with you guys. I hope you're having fun too. If you're not, I don't know why you're watching this. So we are going to continue reading through Bob and JoBeth Hooker's book, Romance and Marriage, Keeping the Flame Alive. If you were watching, you can see here. This was a very taboo book growing up, something I was not allowed to read, but snuck into my parents' room and read anyways because, I was a teenager. So a few disclaimers right from the get-go. I always throw these in here because I think it's important for people to know the context. This book is pretty steamy as IFB standards go, and so it does deal with sex quite a bit, and I do get frustrated with it and I end up cursing. So this may not be an episode for the younger ears. In fact, unless you see Chloe in the thumbnail, it's probably not for younger ears, let's be real. Either they'll have zero interest in it, which I don't blame them, I wouldn't either, or it's just filled with words and situations that probably you don't want them to hear about. So anyways, the one thing I do want to say beyond that, as far as setting some expectations here, is that some of these ideas, these are a lot of like date your spouse kind of ideas. Some of these ideas that are put forth sound good and sound doable, sound feasible. But two things you need to remember on these ideas. One is they're generally very condescending. Like, it's shit that you should, not putting the onus on people, but it's shit that we know to do anyways. So it's kind of like, what's the point of telling me this shit? So there's that. And then also, you have to understand that even if an idea sounds good, I'm not trying to say there's no good ideas. In fact, I have been pleasantly surprised by the amount of ideas I've come across, and I'm like, okay, I can't be mad at that. However, all these ideas take place inside the patriarchal context of the IFB, where the man is the king of the home. If he wants sex from the wife, he gets it. If she wants something from him, be it sex or something else, hopefully she gets it, but if she doesn't, it's not a big deal. If she's not giving it up for him, he'll probably get it from the secretary, and this is a paraphrase from earlier in the book. And if he gets it from the secretary, then the wife needs to re-examine what she's doing wrong and examine what the secretary did right, so she can, win her husband back, so to speak. So that's the overarching theme that isn't really prevalent in this book, as far as when they're giving these tips for how to have a healthy marriage and how to have, they don't like to say sex in the bedroom. They like to say, excitement and good times and intimacy. Like, you can say sex, you can say fucking. Like, of course, they wouldn't say fucking in this book, of course. But, that's what's going on. And that's what we're trying to teach you about. But, again, it's all inside the context of IFB, let's just do missionary and go to sleep style. Okay, so without further ado, we are on chapter 4 now. This book is broken up into 3 parts. The first part is for the women only, so I'm going to read it, sorry. The second part is for men only, and the third part is for couples together, and it's all quite intriguing. So let's get into chapter 4 of Romance and Marriage, Keeping the Flame Alive, and this is for the ladies. Once again, I know I'm not supposed to be reading that. I apologize. Not quenching the fire, and this is, of course, Song of Solomon. They lead with, I sat under his shadow with great delight, and his banner over me was love. His banner over me was love. You guys remember that song? All right, that's all I can think of. I'm sorry. What is it? I'm feasting at his banqueting table. Banner over me is love. I can't believe I remembered that. Wow. But that's the only one. There's a bunch of them, right? That's the only one I can remember. Yeah, I don't know. But, I remember that. I can't believe I remember that. All right, this is a completely different thing. I'm a crazy person at this point. If you're writing me off because of what I just did, I don't blame you. All right. Observation number 4. Men are incomplete creatures. I don't disagree with that. Women are designed to complete them. I don't like how sexist that comes off. So I retract my initial statement, I think. God created man with 3 great needs. 1 to be wanted, 2 to be needed, and 3 to be trusted. I think he created us, if God created us, he created us all with these things, right? This doesn't sound like it's gender specific, but okay. Each one of these needs finds his fulfillment in one of 3 areas: spiritually, physically, or emotionally. The woman's job is to meet those needs. Sounds like a tall order. I hope the men have to do the same, right? In doing so, she and her husband uniquely meld together to become one flesh. Still is one of the weirdest things I've ever heard in Scripture. Thus, completing her husband and making him a whole creature. Again, this is so sexist. Like, that's all you're here for. You're here for him, to serve him, to make him complete. What about you? Fuck you. We don't care about you. You're here to make your husband whole and complete. Spiritually, here we go. I'm going point by point. Okay, how does she accomplish this? Let's look at the first area. Spiritually, the wife completes her husband by allowing him to lead. By nature, a man wants to please his wife. And we all want to, unless you are completely devoid of empathy, we all want to please each other. That's in all of us, I believe. That is why Adam fell in the Garden of Eden. A husband hates telling his wife no. Again, to lead means that sometimes you must make decisions she won't like. But God wanted man as the leader and had given him a discernment that the woman does not have. Ow, ow, ow. Ladies, just so you know, men, and by the way, have you not seen the dumb shit that guys do? And we're supposed to have an extra level of discernment that women don't have? Is this the, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, actually. This sounds like the, well, women have smaller brains than men. It's science. Obviously, that's not what they said. But it's pretty damn close. Well, men have more discernment. Have you seen the way we stand on fucking ladders? And the dumb shit we do on job sites, construction job sites? And the stupid shit we do with cars? Yeah, so women have smaller brains, so they have less discernment. I'm not saying that no woman has ever done the stupid things that men have done, but by and large, us guys do some really dumb shit that women are scratching their heads about. But we have extra discernment. Sure, Eve was tricked. Adam was not. There you go. To lead her is for the purpose of for the purpose of protecting her from Satan's devices and providing for her needs. To lead her is that's just to be submissive to your husband was never designed to be punishment but a protection. Wow. Realizing that, it is a wise woman who submits to her husband's decisions and allows him to lead the home. There you go. Not sexist at all. By trusting him as a leader, the wife builds his confidence in his ability to lead and furthers his desire to protect and provide for her. By trusting him instead of questioning his decisions. Oh, no. And I'm not saying that question every single thing and be divisive. And I'm not speaking to wives. I'm just speaking to people in general in relationships. If you're not questioning your partner from time to time, I've been in those relationships where you're constantly questioning. That's a different thing. We all know what that is. Generally, we know when we're doing it, and we really know when it's being done to us. But if you never question anything, which is what this is implying, that's lunacy. Anyways, scoffing at his decisions, doubting or criticizing his decisions, a wife completes her husband and allows him, without doing these things, completes her husband, allows him to grow into a more spiritual, God-fearing Christian man. But you say, what if he is wrong? Am I still supposed to be submissive and keep my mouth shut? Very plainly it says, yes. Some things he will have to learn by his mistakes. Experience is often the best teacher. So even when he's wrong, he's right. I've been waiting to hear this. Read this. Even when he's wrong, he's right. That is exactly what this is saying. It's complete bullshit. Oh my God. Experience is often the best teacher. However, it is not your job to remind him that you are right and he was wrong. Sometimes it is, though. We do dumb shit. That is pride, and pride is selfishness, and selfishness is sin. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 13:10. A continual dropping and a very rainy day and a contentious woman are alike. Sounds like someone had a lot of concubines and wives. That's why he wrote that shit. Have I made my point? Don't be contentious. Be submissive and shut up. I'm reading what it says. Be submissive and shut up. Wow. Let him be the leader. Pray for him. Trust him. And trust God to help him make right decisions. Don't give your opinion unless it's asked for. This is rocking my world. And never tell a man what to do. Oh boy. Ask him, but don't tell. Romance in marriage may or may not happen as a direct result of your willingness to believe in him, trust his decisions, and to submit to his leadership. Act, don't react. Shut up and bend over is all I'm reading here. I understand that's a paraphrase, but it's not far from what the actual objective is here. Tip number 4. Romantics give their relationship top priority in their lives. Realizing that relationships aren't 50-50, they are 100-100. That I don't disagree with. That means not only giving 100% of what you are to that other person, but also being willing to take 100% responsibility for the relationship. Now that's fucking bullshit. If it's a, no, okay, you guys, you went too far. It may be impossible to give 100% all the time, but it can be a goal. Of course, it's impossible. And then you hold yourself to that IFB standard, and then you're miserable because you're not good enough. In the story. Problems arise when a person puts strings on the relationship, limiting to only giving his or her fair share, or developing the I'll give when he gives philosophy. Or she gives, guys, okay? Oh, we're right, this is for women. Okay. When a person does this, he has lost the. Now, your pronouns are fucking with me, man. He has lost the building of the relationship and the potential for fun and spontaneity. Idea number 4. Hide notes of appreciation for him under his pillow, in the glove compartment of the car, in his tool. Again, this is the condescension. Get real. Under the pizza lid, in the refrigerator, in the refrigerator, in the medicine cabinet, etc. Again, they're just grasping like we got to come up with some ideas, and they can't be like try a different sex position. He may not find them for 6 months, but that's okay. When he does, it will thrill him. By the way, a man will try to live up to the things you admire about him. Too hot to handle. Oh, good. We're in with another quote from Beverly Hills. Can't wait to get to that. Without his knowing, put a pair of your sexiest underwear. I'm telling you, Bob is writing these. Joe Bet is not. Put a pair of your sexiest underwear in a sealed envelope in his briefcase for him to find when he opens his briefcase at work. Attach a note to the underwear that says, "Can't wait until you get home, but be ready when he comes home. This is one good way to keep him from working late." And fucking the secretary. Beverly Hills, a man will be the kind of leader he is in your eyes. What the fuck? I don't know, Bev. I don't know. I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead. I just didn't get that one. All right, chapter 4. This is for the fellas. Here we go. Stoking the fire, not dousing the flame. Isaiah 50:11. Walk again. They used Strong's, or they used some concordance. Just looked up everything that had fire. Just, fuck it. Let's use that one because it says fire. Walk in the light of your fire and in the sparks that ye have kindled. Again, that's entirely out of context. I highly doubt that Isaiah 50, chapter 50, is talking about romance and marriage, keeping the flame alive. Okay. Observation number 4. Some men douse the flame instead of stoking the fire. This happens when husbands turn their wives off to intimacy by thoughtless actions right before bedtime. Brush your teeth, right? A woman is turned on by what she thinks about. Okay, by the way, ladies, this is mansplaining big time. By the way, a woman is turned on by what she thinks about. There's a reason there's thunder down under, okay? Like, it's not just, it's very sexist to say a woman is just this way. We put her in this box and that's what she's going to be, although that's the IFB way. That's ridiculous. Women are attracted to good-looking men as well. Abs are great, even for ladies to look at. All right. When you come home and spend hours talking about all the problems of work, you douse the flame. When you choose to read your mail and look at bills right before bed or while in bed, you douse the flame. When you decide to balance a checkbook right before you retire, you douse the flame. When you choose to watch Monday Night Football for 3 hours and can do little more than grumble or mumble to her while the game is on, you douse the flame. I can't even go there with you, Bob, the whole football thing. These circumstances do nothing to spark any motivation from her toward lovemaking. In other words, knucklehead, you spent the night making your bed, and now you get to sleep in it. All right, that's fair. Tip number 4, consider how different your life would be if you had not met your partner. Looking back helps a person to appreciate the impact his spouse has had in his life. Take time to reminisce. How has knowing your wife changed your life? Were there values or gifts brought into your world that had never been there before? What has your spouse taught you? For what are you the most grateful? I don't disagree with this at all. Reflection should cause gratitude. Gratitude should speak tenderness and sensitivity. Tenderness and sensitivity are the precursors to love. So what are you waiting for? Stoke the fire. Idea number 4. Why not try putting aside the bills at least 1 hour before bed and try lighting a candle in the bedroom instead? Let's just decide to put away the checkbook too. After all, why make her fret and lose sleep unnecessarily? I have something to say on this. A wife does not need to deal with a balance anyways. Don't let her touch the finances, man. Why not shut off the game and find out the winner and score in the morning? She is more important than the game. And maybe you will be the winner instead. Here's the thing. You're talking. This book is strictly for IFB people. I'm not saying no one else ever read it, but this book is strictly for IFB people. And the reason that we can't put down the checkbook, the reason, sorry, I lost my place now. The reason we can't put down the checkbook, the reason we're stressing over finances is because we're giving everything. Bob, you come through as a guest speaker. We put money in the plate. You want us to buy your daughter's CDs. We buy your daughter's overpriced CDs. We have to give to the building fund. We have to make sure that the kids have, the bus ministry has candy and treats on Sunday for the bus kids. We give to the school because our kids go there. So not only do we pay tuition, we give in addition. Our kids are out selling candy bars to make more money so they can go to youth conference where you will preach, Bob. The reason we're fretting about this, it's not all Bob's fault. I can't put it all on Bob. But the organization, the IFB, is a big reason why we can't put the checkbook down, why we're always fretting about finances, why we, and I did this myself as a teenager, why we are eating out of dumpsters. Why? Because of the IFB, because of the system, because of the people that have the nice SUVs and nice cars and nice suits and get love offerings and get to preach around the world. Yes, around the world. And here we are fretting over our checkbooks, and here you are, Bob, yelling at us, telling us, hey, put it on your checkbook, take care of your wife. That's demeaning at the very best. All right, too hot to handle. On a cold wintry night, bring her pajamas to her warm from the dryer. Then proceed to dress her yourself. Again, only to undress her, right? Like I don't get the dressing up. All right. And then he has a quote. I'm guessing it's his because it's not attributed. Troubles in marriage often start when a man is so busy earning his salt that he forgets his sugar. Ladies, you are sugar, and that is all. Remember that. Chapter 4. This is for couples. Fueling the fire. All right, Song of Solomon. All right, at least we got some romantic, probably not as much out of context reference here. Many waters cannot quench love, neither can the floods drown it. If a man would give all the substance of his house for love, it would utterly be contemned. I'm going to have to look that one up because I'm lost. Observation number 4. In the previous chapter, we had mentioned 3. Oh, okay, now you're going to complete the 5. Okay, gotcha. Because there was only 3 in the last chapter, and I was like, where's the rest of them? Thank you, Bob, for clearing that up. We have mentioned 3 of the 5 great danger times in marriage. Let's look at the last 2. The 25th, and you've got to keep continuity, man. Like, bolded, like you did in the last chapter, you bolded it and gave it a number. Here it's just, well, start a paragraph. I mean, it's a house public, no, it's hood publication. Yeah, same. I already read Mrs. Scott, which, by the way, is still her pen name, Cindy Scott. She's divorced and remarried, but she's still using the name Cindy Scott to write books. Think on that for a minute. I wonder why. All right. The 25th year brings the empty nest syndrome. If you haven't cultivated a romantic relationship by now, you may be shocked to wake up one day to learn how far apart you and your spouse have grown. I doubt it would come as a shock. When people allow their lives to totally revolve around their children or their careers, then the children or career become their purpose to stay together rather than their love for each other. By the way, I fixed your grammar there. He said becomes. It's become. Then, when the children are gone or the career has ended, they wake up to find, people seem to be waking up a lot here, wake up to find that they really don't know who it is they've been sleeping with for the last number of years. It sounds kinky, all right? When you live a romantic life, your top priority is your lover. When you work at keeping that priority straight, nothing else can take its place. You may even find yourself looking forward to the time when the kids are gone so the two of you can really party. Now, you should be partying anyways, party with your kids. Now is the time to plan to travel, to see the world. Bob, we can't see the world on an IFB salary. Get the fuck out. Take that long for vacation or cruise. Again, we're not going on cruises. We don't have money for that unless we win some contest at pastor school. If your relationship is a priority, you will find the money, save the money, or put away the money and be glad you did. No, you will not. You will give all your money to the ministry. Ministries that you run. Book publications. Oh man, I'm fired up. The last and final danger is the age of retirement. By this time, as some have humorously said, divorce is not an option, but murder is. Who said that? That's awful. What the fuck? Hubby being home with nothing to do can create new and unusual problems. Now, you'll stay busy. Like his following you around the house while you are cleaning and telling you when you miss a spot. Sounds like someone is speaking from experience. Like his not wanting to go out to eat with your best friend with whom you have had a lunch date every Wednesday for the past 40 years. Again, he doesn't have to. You guys go together. He doesn't have to bitch about it. He can sit at home and watch the game because he is lonely. Like his wanting to rearrange your kitchen from top to bottom so that it is easier and more practical for you to use, though it is not your preference. What then? Will he get a divorce? I guess I don't know. His whole life has been spent providing, protecting, and trying to please. Now he feels purposeless. What is more important, his mental well-being or a disorganized kitchen? Ladies, he's telling you, you better let your man fuck with your house now. What is more important? I already read that. Oh yeah, no. What is more important, your date with your friend or a date with him? Okay, what is more important, giving him purpose by allowing him to help you clean, or that he doesn't bother you? No, he's not helping you clean. He's walking around being a little bitch and annoying you. That's what's happening. Sorry, you laid it out, Bob. That's not helping. If you allowing him to help clean, or that he doesn't, if you have been cultivating a loving relationship all along, these situations should not be so hard to deal with because love will cover a multitude of sins. I hate that verse. If not, the years when you should be leaning on each other and needing each other the most to cope with the aging process, you're going to be at each other's throats. I know of no greater example of love and sweetness than to see an aging couple hold hands, tenderly care. This isn't the Notebook, Bob, but that'd be cool. Tenderly care for one another, carefully putting each other's needs first, or sitting with one another through the thick and thin of illness. It is a testimony of the highest, purest, most noble form of love. It is grace and truth, blue denim and lace, strength and beauty. Let's name off more of Jack Hyles' books, all rolled up into one package. It is inspiring. It is a goal worth shooting for. The young people of our nation will only know true love by the examples of those before them. Not true. Would a young person watching you want what you have or decide that if your marriage... No, we're not on display. Live your life. Enjoy your life. It's not about what other people think of you. The IFB is so dead set focused on image, it is ridiculous. Would a young person watching you want to have what you have, or decide that if your marriage is an example of what a marriage ought to be, then he'd rather play the field? Holding hands, smooching, making goo-goo eyes at one another, and cuddling is a lot more fun and healthy than fighting for one's rights. You got that right. It also keeps you young. Let's keep the sparks flying. Tip number 4. Remember, view romance as adult play. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. Way to switch it up. Pain is inevitable, but misery is optional. Marriages may be forever, or they may not, but whether it is made in heaven or not is up to you. Your marriage is what you make it. Gee, thanks. Idea number 4. Make a cassette tape together. You could sing on it, like me and my girls and my wife do. You could tell jokes or stories on it, or interview one another. Send it to family members or friends who live far away. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying we're grasping. What can we say besides missionary sex? I don't know. Make a tape. Do this. Oh. All right. Too hot to handle, and we're done. We're done with this misery. Call her on the phone. Pretend to be a lovesick stalker. This is going to be good. Okay. I got you back now. At least I'm back. Breathe heavy. Tell her how you long to be with. This is role play. Just say role play. Find out, does she have a police fetish? Does she have a nurse fetish? Does she want to get into pegging? Like, figure out what her fetish is. Don't force your fetish on her. That's what I'm reading. Okay. Tell her how you long to be with her, how you will follow her anywhere she goes, and she will never be able to get away from you. Not creepy at all. End by saying that you will be waiting around some corner of the house to grab her the second she comes home. Then make good on your word. This is indicative of the IFB. The fact that they would fetishize. There are so many things to fetishize. Yes, including feet. I'm not that guy. I'm not against that guy. Everyone has their thing. There's so many things to fetishize. Being a stalker, not on the list. All right, the last quote. You know a man is getting old when seeing a pretty girl causes his pacemaker to open the garage door. That's a very good joke. I'll give you that. I need to go throw up a little. I'll be back. Anyways, those are the last few chapters 4 of each section in Bob Hooker and Joe Beth's Romance and Marriage, Keeping the Flame Alive. The ones before chapter 3 were a little more benign, so I'm glad we got into some meatier stuff here. When it not meteor through the sky, meteor as in more. dense content here, because it is very interesting to me just how sexist this book is written, especially the part that's directed to the ladies. The whole shut up and obey, and even if he's wrong, he's right. Again, it's not phrased that way, but that's what it's saying. Even when he's wrong, don't correct him. Are you fucking kidding me? He just wasted our life savings. He just, and I'm not just saying for men, like it goes both ways, but that's not presented in the follow-up chapter for the men, whether she's right or wrong. You know why? Because women aren't allowed to make decisions at all. That's just not something that they're allowed to do. So why would they even address it? They don't have to. Anyways, man, I'm fired up. This episode, I won't need an energy drink for the rest of the day after this, because good God, that got me going. But I hope you enjoyed this little mini episode of Not Your Mother's Podcast. We are going to continue reading through this book, as well as Jack Scott's Dating with a Purpose. I hope you're enjoying this. Feel free to send us a message, leave us a comment, let us know how this is, if it's impacting you, if it's, for me, it's mostly catharsis, being able to read through stuff that I would have read with a completely different mindset at a different part of my life. I think it's very helpful for me to see how far I've come. It's a humble brag, if you will, but at the same time, I don't have any shame in saying that I've come a long way, because I have. So if that's all it is for you as well, great. I'm glad you enjoy it. If it's something that is frustrating you or disturbing you, don't watch it. There's tons of stuff on the internet to watch otherwise. But again, all the negativity aside, I hope you enjoyed this special episode of Storytime with Stu on Not Your Mother's Podcast.